Happy Monday. It's time once again for...
It's the Cuomos! Whoa! Starring Andrew and Chris. Cool.
Yes, it's the bro with the show and the bro who won't go. The obnoxious anchor and the political canker. The arrogant host and the governors who's toast. The commentator who's lost appeal and the creep who'll cop a feel. The chucklehead who blows hot gas and the fiend who likes to grab...
Don't do it.
An ass. Sorry. So as Governor Cuomo drowns in denial, how can CNN manage a smile? Well, they're handling his brother, the crisis intervention specialist, with kid brother gloves. They sent out that mound of flesh, Captain Poppin' Fresh, to attempt a cleanup. I wonder, does Chris Cuomo have a lot to say?
Chris Cuomo has a lot to say, but right now he cannot say it. CNN management has made two things clear to him. One, that he can't talk about his brother, Andrew Cuomo, on TV. And two, that he cannot participate in any more strategy sessions with the governor's aides.
Oh, isn't that convenient? Imagine if CNN used that on everyone. Yeah, he did something totally inexcusable, but we told him to stop. Well, wait, they did do that with Jeffrey Toobin. So I guess it works. But think about it, a news anchor helping an embattled governor to craft responses for an alleged news outlet like CNN. We always knew Dems and the mainstream media were in bed together, but we didn't know it was incest. And CNN's response? Don't do that anymore. And also, don't talk to anyone either. Two things I was once told at an orgy by Tom Shalhoub. Come on, remember that horrible kissing montage? Talk about a super spreader. Something only a TV person would come up with. I couldn't tell if I was watching Cuomo's press briefing or a hot tub episode of The Bachelor. And in all of his seasons of hosting Family Feud, Richard Dawson didn't slobber on as many people as Cuomo has. Oh, man. But montages are straight from the TV playbook, and I put money on Chris for pushing the idea. Hell, he told me to do one for this very segment.
Gregory John Gutfeld. Ooh, yeah. Gorgeous. Ooh. Damn. I bet he looks great in jeans. Oh, yeah. It's a present for your eyes. Ooh, no. Yes. No. Yeah.
That is disturbing on many, many levels. All right. But the good news, Stelter then said he talked to his sources, and not the ones at Arby's. But I bet that he got some exclusive facts.
This week I've been doing reporting on the media angle of this Cuomo story, which has meant talking with staffers here at CNN about Chris Cuomo and his one-of-a-kind situation. TV star in primetime, governor's brother at all times. Now, let's just be candid with each other. These staffers I'm talking with are my colleagues, of course, and I assured them they could speak anonymously and candidly. What I found is a more complicated story than you might think. This has been a conundrum for CNN that has no perfect answer, no perfect solution. Some think CNN made it worse by letting Chris interview his brother when COVID-19 was ravaging New York.
You think so? Yeah, I'd venture that waving around a giant Q-tip while thousands of elderly are dying in New York nursing homes, probably not making it better. I guess you could have done something worse, though, right?
Do you think that you are an attractive person now because you're single and ready to mingle? Do you really think you are some desirable single person and that this is not just people's pain coming out of them?
I think beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
You know what? It did make it worse. Anyway, what's the big news that you got, Brian?
But that was an unprecedented time period. And so is this one. A famous family in the news. A governor who soared to the highest heights last year, now falling to the lowest lows. Self-inflicted wounds. And a brother who just wants to do his job. Just wants to anchor his show.
Just wants to do his job. So that's what you got from your anonymous sources, who happen to be your candid coworkers. That it's like really complicated. It's really confusing. Like Chris just wants to do his job. Well, you unearthed some real nuggets there, Captain Crunch. Something tells me you just stood around the vending machine eating Funyuns and you waited for people to come by so you could say, boy, this Cuomo stuff, am I right? Though I can't argue with the anonymous part. Have you seen CNN's ratings? Screw the witness protection program. If you want to hide from the mob, get a show at CNN. No one will ever find you. So, what is Brian's big message here? Chris is just some hardworking guy who wants to do his own show, which makes me wonder, who was one of these anonymous sources? Does it rhyme with Chris Cuomo? This Bomo? But Brian realized something else, that reporting stuff suddenly is really complicated. Finally, CNN discovers nuance, a quality that was missing when they covered the police. Remember, the cops were all guilty and the suspects were victims. And how about Trump voters? They were all bigots, right? There was no nuance there. In fact, if CNN actually practiced nuance, they'd no longer have a network. Their business plan is based on painting everyone with a broad brush. But at least Brian can say he tried.
My sources say that management has been clear about its position. He is not covering the governor on TV, period. He is not talking about it at all. And you can believe me, I tried. I wanted an interview, and I was turned down.
I bet you really pushed it. You know, I bet. It's so convenient that the honorable rule that Chris stopped covering news about his brother only came about when that news became bad. Yeah, so that was the deep reporting, courtesy of their media reporter, who's clearly spent more time covering his microwave meatloaf with packets of gravy than covering what's happening at his own station. We have a camera in their break room. Finally, Stelter says, hey, it's all good because people tuned in to watch Chris.
Viewers wanted to see him on TV, and let's be honest, this is TV, so that's not a totally irrelevant factor. Chris had the highest rated hour on CNN on Tuesday, on Wednesday, and again on Thursday.
There you go. It's not about news, it's about ratings. But I hate to tell you, they were tuning in to see if he'd ever talk about his brother. To pretend that wasn't part of the momentary rise in ratings is also to pretend Trump had nothing to do with their best numbers in years. The best part about this story, normally you don't get to see cable news shape the news right in front of you. But like a pilot in distress landing on a highway instead of a residential area, they steer toward one story at the expense of the other. But here you got to see them scramble, desperately protecting themselves. You wonder why no one takes CNN seriously. They don't take themselves seriously either. Let's welcome tonight's guest. She's the sensation from Fox Nation, host of Monsters Across America, Casey McDonald. He's more New York than a rat eating pizza on a hooker's lap. New York City mayoral nominee Curtis Lewa. Yeah. Like her favorite vape, she's fruity and harmful to minors. Fox News contributor Kat Tim. And he knows when it's raining before anyone else does. My massive sidekick and the NWA's World Television Champion, Tyrus. Thanks, Mel. Curtis, when you think of New York, we think of Curtis Lewa, the Guardian Angels. You've been around, you've seen it all. This is some pretty crazy stuff. Do you think this guy, the Governor Cuomo, is going to last?
Well, I got to tell you, I know the Cuomos. I know where all their bones are buried and who buried them. First of all, I don't know if you know, on WABC Talk Radio, Chris was actually a partner of mine for a while.
Oh, wow.
And this is when he was a legitimate journalist and he didn't have opinions.
Yes.
Right? And they said, you're not good for talk radio. Now look at him.
Yeah.
Opinions are mile a minute. But you got to understand, this goes back to his roots. Mm-hmm. He's a Mamaluke, a mama's boy to Matilda, the mother. He's got to prove he's no Fredo. He's not going to throw his brother Michael Corleone under the bus.
Right.
So he's become his wartime consigliere. You will see, I predict, when Andrew Cuomo is on the outside looking in, they'll be in their compound out in the Hamptons. The only ones who get in, the Corleone-Cuomo compound, are the few friends that are left. And the rest of you, the foes, and me, a foe for life, we're on the outside looking in.
There you go. You know, Tyrus, there is a point to be made about family, right?
Yeah, that's why I ditched mine. 16, I was like, yeah, this ain't it. You know what's funny is going back to that, we'll call it, what was that, an interview?
Yes.
Or breaking news that
I don't know, I just had my...
that B. Stelter dropped on us? It was the same montage that was his brother used, except it was him, like nice pictures with his hands in his pocket, walking in the beach, and his only crime is that he loves too much. I mean, he's literally just the greatest person in the world, and the toughness of this interview was he just, what, Chris? Oh, he just really wants to do his job, and he has so much, what? I'm saying that. Like, he literally, he was, the only thing you didn't see was Chris sliding him the paper to finish it.
Yeah.
That was the most complimentary interview on something that really should have been simple. If Chris Cuomo was really about the people and doing his job, I thought he was the first guy on the line who says all women should be heard and listened to. And shouldn't he be supporting that?
Yeah.
Regardless, I mean, even if it is my brother or not my brother, if he broke the law or he did these things, then he should be fired. That's what a journalist should be saying.
Exactly.
He doesn't want to go on TV because he thinks it's bad for his family.
Stelter should have interviewed him, right? Instead of him being the host, he could have been the guest.
He tried, he said.
Yes,
he told him,
He tried really
no.
hard.
Yes.
Control room, Chris. It's one of these.
Yeah. No, the management said no.
Yeah, the management said no.
Not Chris. He's ready to tell his
But
story.
now he can't be in any strategy meetings anymore.
Right.
So he can't help out with that. Imagine though, and the aides. He can't talk to the aides, but he just lost another one today.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
I don't know how many are left. But imagine if it was CNN reporting on DeSantis.
Yeah.
And he had a brother at Fox.
Right.
What would that look like?
Yeah, Terry DeSantis.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah, he's a jerk. I'd throw him to the wolves, Casey.
Yeah,
no, but it's a good point. I mean, there is no, whenever Fox is, when CNN is dealing with Fox or anything that is non-liberal, it loses all nuance. But now the nuance suddenly becomes visible because it's them. Things suddenly get really complicated, Casey.
Muddying the water a little bit.
What do you make of this cat? We've talked about this. We all think he should go. He hasn't gone. People are ditching him.
Yeah, he hasn't gone. I guess, they have to move. Moving sucks. I get it. But
he's got to move out of the mansion.
Yeah, but it's just, even Stelter calling it family drama.
Yes.
That really kind of downplays a little bit, right? Like, it wasn't like, he was a little rude to Aunt Cheryl's new boyfriend at Thanksgiving. Like, he's a serial groping grandma killer refusing to leave the mansion, even though everybody says he's got to go. So even in saying, listen, we're taking this so seriously, in the same breath, he's also downplaying it too. It's been a very interesting study in narcissism to watch. He really thinks he's going to be able to stick it out. He really believes that.
Well, don't say stick it out, because I think another.
Yeah.
He's running the media cycle, as Greg Gutfeld would say.
You people are filthy. Applauding such degradation and perversion.
The problem with waiting out the cycles, it doesn't work for him because then there's just a new bad thing he did. He's facing 7 investigations.
I still think I think the nursing homes are still the worse than this.
Yes.
But we're the only people that feel that way.
Murder's tough to beat.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, all right.
It's murder.
It's murder.